Mazur John Madden's Juanito, they call me here in Mexico. Still in Parque Acamal in Acamal, Mexico. One more story about being a stranger in a strange land. I was sitting there having told the story about how in Mexico I'm a stranger in a strange land and trying to tell the young people here that I'm from Chicago and didn't actually meet Michael Jordan, but my son was in his basketball camp, stuff like that. It just doesn't fly. They don't know what I'm talking about. But you know, it happened to me in Chicago, much younger man, living in Oak Park, the first suburb to the west of Chicago. I was probably in my 40s, and I was living in Oak Park, which is the first suburb to the west of the city, and my family had been part of the white flight from the west side of Chicago, where in the period of 10, 15 years, the whole west side of Chicago changed from Italian, Irish, Polish to black because of the fear mongering of the panic peddling realtors who would come to you and say, they're moving in, there's a family of them 2 blocks away. A month from now, your place won't be worth anything. I'll give you half of what you think it's worth, and you'll do well to do that. And they took it. They took the deal. So the Irish all moved out of the west side of Chicago when we were in the suburbs. At this point, I'm in Oak Park, which is a very shishy, uh, middle class and upper middle class suburb with some integration, not much. Liberal, progressive. And I'm 3 blocks away from Austin Boulevard, which is the dividing line between white and black. And Oak Park had taken a very conscious stance of we will not flee. We're going to integrate block by block and building by building. They never managed to do that. But they didn't flee, and they saved the suburb, and it became affluent. So I'm riding my bike on the other side of Austin Boulevard up into Columbus Park, which is part of the Austin neighborhood, which at this point is 98% black. And I'm up at the top of the park just resting. And these black teenagers come up and say, "What are you doing here, man?" I say, "I'm reminiscing." Maybe you didn't even know that word. What are you remembering? Well, I'm remembering when I was a kid and we used to play in this park. And they looked at each other and looked at me and said, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't play in this park. You're white, man." It was not part of in the same way, it's not part of the consciousness of young Mexican kids here that I could actually have been around Michael Jordan. It was not possible in their minds that I could have lived in a neighborhood that, as long as they knew it, was all black. So it's a role I've played a lot in my life, to be the only one. I did it moving out to deep Appalachia just 5 years ago from the Shishi town of Asheville, North Carolina. I just do it. And I'm not living where all the expats live. I could easily live in Playa del Carmen and see only expats, Americans, Europeans, etc. No, I choose to be in the Pueblo of Acamal, where there ain't many gringos. There are some for sure. The guy at the fruit market ahead of me was clearly American or Canadian and had good Spanish, had been here a long time, but not much. And he probably drove in. I bet he doesn't live in the Pueblo. Yeah, it's my path, and I love it. I embrace it.